Now it looks a little brighter.
Dicks.
I'll move back. Oh, there we go. Make yourself known. Now, one person came in and then left. They saw your face.
Was it mine or yours? Maybe it was that green shit in your teeth.
Gotta fix it. Wait, what? Really?
Mm-hmm. Hi. Hey. Okay.
Sil is first. I think Sil was first last time. You're good. I don't like you, but you're good. I'm kidding. I love you.
Skeleton.
What's up, Stephanie? Erica? Dana?
What's up? Sup?
Hello, Kelly. Oh, Stephanie's on lunch break. Perfect timing.
Sweet.
Perfect timing. What's up, Sam?
Well, this is only going to take all of your lunch break, so don't worry about it.
What did you get? You get a Subway sandwich?
Subway sandwich, not the Jimmy Jones sheet.
I had Wendy's last night.
Oh, you got the taco. Okay, that's good, man. You had Wendy's?
I had a single and some fries, but I forgot to ask for sauce, and it ruined my fucking night.
No, you always like that secret sauce.
I love sauce. It's the best. Last week I had a Big Mac. I don't even care.
That shit was crazy, Sam.
Yes.
Someone's gabbing cheap.
Oh, Stephanie's a teacher? Oh my gosh.
Holy
I didn't
fuck.
realize.
That's amazing.
You're doing God's work. I wonder if your kids knew you were watching such filthy content on your lunch break.
She put it up on the projection screen.
That would suck if your kids walked in.
It's like, let the boy watch. Let the boy watch.
Teacher assistant. No, you're a teacher. God damn it.
I could never do that. Be like, what do you mean you don't fucking know 2 + 2? It's obviously 5.
You're a teacher in waiting. Like Falcon.
No, it's 8. No, it's 9. Yes, you're right, and that's a magic number.
We love you too, Slaughter. We love you long time. We'll wait a second before we actually get into the Game of Thrones. Let all the late weary travelers pile in.
Come into our pub and let us offer you cheap beer and moderate entertainment.
That reminds me of Desperado, which is like, and by the way, your beer tastes like piss. It's like, that's because we pissed in it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's the best comeback to that insult.
Yeah.
It's like, you smell like vomit. That's because I vomited on myself. Oh.
I like when Quentin Tarantino takes a drink of the beer for the first time and he's like, yeah.
Come up here, Jack. Oh, no, he won't do it.
And his friend gets shot.
Yes, Gary, this is the Hound, if you know. I don't know, Gary. I know what you mean, but I don't know what I mean about that emoji. Are you saying that you didn't like it? I can't read that emoji. Is that a sad face?
Bad.
It just looked like a guy was going vomit, like he didn't like it. It looked like an open mouth.
That's some people when they watch this episode, man. They literally threw up. Some people hated it. We'll go to the 5-minute mark before we get into talking about it, and then we'll go spoilerific, deep and dark.
I feel like I'm braiding the dog's hair. Like I'm just twisting his hair.
Won't you braid my hair? Oh, man. The legal drinking age in America, Sil Skellington, is 21 years of age.
Isn't that bullshit? You guys get lucky. It's 18 over in yonder areas.
Yeah.
In the Britons.
Did you guys have a good Mother's Day? Kyle just said taco. I can appreciate that. I like tacos.
Hey, Sophie. Yeah. I called you Sophie. I'm sure you don't like that. 16?
16?
Holy sugar shit.
Imagine a bunch of drunk 16-year-olds.
Can you go back in time and get a DeLorean so Mike and I can party legally?
Now that the streets nor the sidewalks are safe. You can't ride your bike, a bunch of drunk kids.
Coming out of fucking school.
Jeez,
God damn,
man.
that class sucked.
Man, if we could have drank when we were 16, we'd be
Well,
dead.
you did drink when we were 16.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Holy hell biscuits from Texas.
I mean, you imagine like when you're 15, you're like, one more year, guys. One more year so I can buy us all beer. You can buy all your middle school friends beer.
Yeah. You're 14, you're like, this is bullshit. It's true, though. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that in America, you can be 18 years of age and you can go fight and die for your country, but you can't have a Bud Light.
Well, that was the argument for a long time about why they thought about changing it. There was kind of a brief debate about it because, yeah, exactly. If they're going to train you to kill somebody with a gun at 18 years old, like, this is how you properly shoot somebody's dick off and put a bullet through the brain and create your own Mortal Kombat 11 fatality, but you can't have a beer. Are you serious? We have Christian values, but there was a debate for that. But they can, I think, if you're 18 years old in the Army or in the Armed Forces, you can drink on the base.
Oh, that makes sense.
You can't go off base, but.
Morning, Katie. Morning, Joker. Dan. Landon.
Sam started drinking at 14. Well, good for you.
Landon.
You're an overachiever.
It'll just make you stronger, my friend. Fuck her. Fuck her right in her face. What's up, Joker? AJ10 thinks it was a disappointing episode. You're not alone. I don't think it.
I thought I liked it.
We'll talk about that. Morning Master. Master.
He said, "Yeah, I thought you were kidding, Joker. There's no way. I did it at 5. There's no way at 4 I would have the motor functions to control myself at beer. I can't even do it now."
JT Custom said Michael Myers' horse had a cameo at the end of the episode. I thought that too, man. When that white horse run around, I was like, "Kill for us, Michael."
I liked it.
Okay, so
we love you too, Dana.
Talking about the drinking age and stupid drinking laws, right before we get into Game of Thrones, I gotta say that yesterday we went to my sister's house for a Mother's Day event, and I thought, hey, let's stop and get some beer on the way, because I don't know if they'll have any, because they might not have any. And we went to Kroger here in town, and I went in and I stood there for like 20 minutes making my decision. I thought, today's a Corona day, and I got 12-pack of Corona Light, ran all the way to the other side of the store, got some limes, walked up to the counter, and this indignant old lady was like, she let me sit in line for 20 goddamn minutes.
I don't know why, but I really thought she let me sit on her lap.
She would sit on her
20
face.
minutes.
And then she let me sit in line for 20 minutes, saw what I had, and then when I got up to the register, she goes, "We don't serve beer here on Sundays."
Why?
And I was like, because you can't buy it Sunday in Winchester. I was like, you go to the Applebee's and has 12 of them and get in your car, but you can't buy it and take it home to drink safely on Sundays. And I was like, oh.
You should have been like, Toots, listen, Jesus turned water to wine. Why not? Give me my Chardonnay.
Oh, Mustang Blues. Thank you. How is John not on the throne next episode of the end?
It could happen.
I think it's too obvious. But
based on what King's Landing looks like, I think the Iron Throne is a big melted pile of shit at this point.
JT Custom said the finale got leaked. I will wait.
Where's the website? Post it.
Yeah, you can't watch the last episode on some shitty little stream. You gotta take it in. But anyways, all right, so let's get into the fucking episode now. Hopefully everybody's here, all 12 of you. And
the one that cares. Okay, so the first thing, again, I don't know how many times Jon has to tell Daenerys that he's not interested in the goddamn throne, okay? He should have thrown her some nookie and she would have got all fucking crazy at the end, but he didn't. He came in, the first thing he does is he walks in and he's like, "I don't want it." Like, because she's giving that weird look. He's like, "I don't want it. Like, I mean, I'm trying to do my best around here. I got you armies and shit. I don't want your shit. I just want to have sex." And then she's like, "Oh, he doesn't." But yeah, I know. Because because she's a bitch right now. And he's like, "You're making it all flaccid. You're making it almost impossible for me to jack off." Almost. But she's like, "Well, you're a betrayer." Like, she didn't call him a betrayer to his face, but that's what she's saying. She's like, "It's fear then. You'll be afraid of me." He's like, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm just saying I don't want your goddamn throne, all right? Listen, Sister Christian, I just want to have sex with you, kinda, when I'm in the mood, and then just, be in the shadows like Batman."
Well, the whole thing is that it's his aunt. So, like, that's what's stopping him. Yeah. Like, that's what's stopping him. So she goes and she makes her move on him wherever she's being all crazy. And, like, he can't do it because of the aunt thing. And, you might say, hey, it's Game of Thrones times. Everybody's fucking their sisters and all this crazy stuff like that. It's just your aunt. But we're talking about Jon Snow. We're talking about a guy who took an oath to the wall and was ready to never fuck ever until he was I think it was a wildling he ended up fucking in the snow.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
That guy's got a different level of discipline. Like he was ready to give his sex away. His sex was not on fire.
My sex is on fire. I was going. I was thinking like
so he's got to. So he can't do it because she's his aunt. His dick just won't do it. It's like that scene.
It's like when you're too drunk, like I get.
It's never happened to me.
Well, sometimes like I get whiskey dick sometimes.
I don't.
It's like, hey, sorry.
What?
I can't do it. I can't do it.
It's like that scene in 40-Year-Old Version when Sarah Marshall or whatever, she comes back to him and she's going down on him and she's like, "Why won't you get hard for me?" He's like, "I don't know, baby, because he broke my heart and I fucking hate you. My dick just doesn't like you."
If I don't have sex soon, I'm gonna fucking kick a dog. But yeah, so that was Jon again trying to convince Daenerys, "I don't want your goddamn throne." All right, first off, it's got splinters in it, like I'm sure, or metal like rivets that haven't been properly engineered. I don't want to sit on it. I don't want to sit on it. Okay. I don't want to do anything with it, and she doesn't believe him. And then moving from there, I know that's a very impactful scene. It's not really. You go to Varys, and Varys dies, kind of in a way unceremoniously. Like, I like Varys a lot. I think Varys was awesome, and like the way that he went out, the way that he did, it kind of sucked. And it was cool to see Tyrion's respect for him at the end, though, when he's getting ready to face the execution, and Tyrion's like, "You whispered too hard." You whispered way too hard. And Varys is like, "I hope I'm wrong. I do. I might not have a dick, but I hope I'm wrong. And then, he gets lit up by the dragon. I kind of thought John was a bitch at that point, though, because John didn't say shit.
He still didn't let it happen.
Yeah, he's like,
yeah, he was like, I'll stand up for everybody, but I don't really even like you that much, dude. So I'm not gonna fight her. Pick your battle.
It's kind of,
sorry, you gotta get roasted. I gotta pick my battles with my girlfriend.
Yeah,
I want to go see Avengers Endgame, and she wants to go see The Lake House, and that's an argument I'm gonna say this for. You getting burnt alive by a crispy, crunchy, peanut buttery dragon? It's like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm not gonna say shit. I'm not gonna fucking argue.
John kind of looked like that dude that's like letting his friends know beforehand, like, I got my bitch under control. Don't worry about it. And then when the time comes, he doesn't do anything. He's like, well, the reason why is because my leg hurt. So I didn't stop it because I was like, seeing my stack. We're gonna get back to that, but we will get back to anybody that does that. We will talk about what your comment was. But moving from there, and then
Lane said, "I don't want your future." That's what John should have said.
Yeah, it was. But John is John is just caught in a rock and a hard place right now. Like, he's like, I love her and she's my queen, but she's doing some fucked up shit, and I can't really stop her from doing it.
I want to talk more about that scene though, because it was crazy. Like the
Did you think he was going to stop her?
I thought he should have.
Yeah,
he should have said something. Like, John disappointed me a couple times in this episode, and I'm sure that's going to make up for itself in the last episode. But when they're standing there, it was badass when the dragon was like, huh. The first rock concert I ever saw,
like, it looked like Kiss.
The first rock concert I ever saw, like in a club on the floor where everybody's getting rowdy and stuff, was 3 doors down before they got big. And I'll never forget that moment because the stage was pitch black and I didn't know what to expect. And all of a sudden, that singer's ugly face, it popped out of the darkness just into the light enough. And he was like, yeah, when the song was starting, and I was like, everybody got charged up and hyped. And that's exactly what I thought, because that's what the dragon did.
It looked like. Yeah. It looked like Bobcat in the Police Academy series. Like, yeah, it's like, woo! But yeah, I mean, that scene to me, it didn't do much good for John. Like my opinion, didn't like lessen. I think John's amazing, but it's like, fuck, man, you should have stood up for Varys. Like, this bitch is literally on the fucking, like, she's going through like detox or something. Like, she's in a bad place, and you should have been like, stop right now before I tell everybody that you took advantage of me and I'm your nephew. But nothing like that happened, unfortunately, and Varys went out.
And that's why he died too, because he actually went to John. Like, he trusted in John, and he was like, hey, man, she's fucking crazy. It's like when you're trying to explain to your friends that their girlfriend's just fucking awful, and you don't know how to say it, and like when he decides, okay, you like, she's the best, man, you tell him, and then you go tell him, it's like, dude, we saw your girlfriend blowing a guy at Kokomo John.
It wasn't Kokomo John. She's never done that. And
then the friend like beats him up. He's like, "No, she didn't." And like, so Varys had to eat it. He had to take one for the fucking team. And poor Tyrion just let it happen. But I knew as soon as Tyrion went to tell Daenerys, and she turned around and she looked like your girlfriend after you've been out all night, and then you see her and you walk home and you know you're in trouble, and she turns, she's got no makeup on, she's all fucked up and tired looking. You're fucked.
That's kind of like that. That's kind of it reminded me of when that night that theme song, we watched a movie, and my ex-wife dropped the D word, the divorce word, and I had to go in and go see her when I got home.
And I car blocked her garage.
You car blocked her, and she was fucking raging on the text messages, just going fucking apeshit banana sandwiches. And I'm like, oh my shit. And I got home, and she was like curling her hair or like straightening it. And I was like, hey, Mike moved his car. And then she turned around, she was like, she's like, he is a betrayal. I was like, what? I was like, I'm just gonna go play video games. Whatever, I don't care. Fuck you. And then she was like, it was crazy. But yeah, that was how it was. Moving from there though, let's talk to Mustak Reviews. He asks, how's this? Dany orders Drogon to kill Jon, but since he's a Targaryen, he doesn't.
I thought the same thing.
And decides to obey Jon. He then orders Drogon to burn the throne. I did, and there was a moment that I thought that Jon was gonna like do something with his hand, or something was gonna happen with magical flares from his tits, and the dragon was gonna stop and be like, "Master, what do you want me to do?" And he's like, "Don't do it." He's like, "The wolf," and then like goes back into the shadow, but it didn't happen. I think that he does have control, but that's her dragon. His dragon's dead.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, though. I mean, well, I don't think it mattered. I think it's dragons, like it's like a slip seat. You know, it doesn't really matter. Anybody can ride it if they want to. It's like a horse or whatever. But that's what I think might happen. I think she might be Dracarys, thinking she's all fucking badass and shit and crazy, tired with her curls.
And then he was like, Dracono.
Yeah,
he's like Dracono. She's like, what?
My ballistic instincts are probably kicking in.
He's like, Dracono.
Yeah, and then but then the dragon doesn't do it, and then Daenerys is like, fucking everybody's turned on me, because that's what happened. I mean, that's we'll get into all that.
Well, this is earlier. She said they didn't even show him burning, and he never made a sound. He didn't. Varys was the master of whispers. He whispered screamed. He was like, he like melted away. But from there, like there's some like really epic moments as far as like emotional things in this. One of the main things for me and you as well, we talked a little bit off camera about it. When you know, Tyrion finds out that Jaime was captured trying to get to Cersei and he's a prisoner now. It's all going fucking sideways, fucking in your butt. And he's like, okay, that's great. Then he goes and gets Davos to get him the keys so he can go talk to Jaime and essentially let him go. Is what you're assuming. He tells Jaime, take Cersei, get the fuck out of King's Landing, stop her from doing this, ring the bell, ring, ding, dong. She won't kill you, no. If you do that, and he's like, okay. But then there was that moment when he's like, you know, you're the only one that never treated me like a monster. And if it hadn't been for you, I would never have survived my childhood. And it really got me. My eyes start sweating in a manly way. Meaning I got teary-eyed as fuck. Like that was a really touching scene to me when Tyrion and Jaime had that one moment in the tent.
Yeah, that scene got me a lot because when Tyrion goes in there and he's like, you know, he's like, you're the only one who didn't treat me like a monster, which they've talked about that arc before, but he's actually like weeping and like, you know, they're holding each other in this tent of fire, and it's basically, you know, well, it's basically Brokeback Mountain, but they didn't fuck.
They didn't have the sexual.
They didn't roll them over.
They didn't have the sexual.
But no, and honestly, that scene actually did get me teary-eyed too. That was the most touching moment of probably the season. I want to say of the season, like because Jaime and Tyrion have always had this fucked up, crazy connection. And Jaime, it's weird, man, because all the bad shit that he's done, like he's always had like a really good part of his heart. Like he was the only one who didn't treat Tyrion like a piece of shit. And what's gonna happen with Tyrion in this series really is really fucking confusing. Like I don't know. This was the first episode where I thought your premonition might come to light. I actually had a feeling. I was sitting there going, Tyrion might actually take the throne. I think this might end with Tyrion.
He deserves it.
I just got that feeling this time because listen, like he betrays her instantly.
Yeah.
Because originally he was like, I believe what I believe. Like this is the first person I truly believed in, and he didn't do anything wrong. John to me did some wrong shit in this. John saw what was right and what was wrong, and actually chose to stand by and do nothing a couple times. Right? He's still trying to do the right thing, but he let some bad shit happen, and Tyrion did too with Varys. But I understood more where Tyrion was coming from because Tyrion said it. He was like, "This is I really believe her." Like John, I think knows that she's wrong, and just he can't pull the trigger. He can't make that turn. But Tyrion immediately, once she did that, and then the whole thing with Jaime happened, he set him free. He's like, well, maybe she'll show me some mercy because if I'm the one that can stop all this, all Tyrion cares about, and really he's the only one. Who all he cares about is those thousands of innocent women and children. That's his whole thing, man. He'll do anything. He'll die for it. He'll turn on Daenerys for it. He'll do whatever for it. And I think in the end, that's because of that. I think Tyrion might end up actually ruling on the throne.
I still don't. I think Tyrion deserves to rule on the throne. I just don't think he's gonna make it. I think at the end, at the last episode, he's not gonna want. He's gonna be like John. He doesn't want to sit there. He doesn't want to be a part of that whole fucking thing.
Bye, Tracy.
Goodbye. But Tyrion is always, like you said, he's always had like a good spot in his heart for everybody. Like he's never been a monster like Cersei tried to make him seem or what she thought he was. And then the relationship that he's had with Jaime and other folk, it's always been like I know that people look at me like shit and they think I'm a terrible person and I do all these bad things. But I mean, I always have the best interest at heart, always. And I think that John looks at Dany and he's thinking he sees the best in people too. Like I don't think he wants to believe how far she's fucking fallen. You were the chosen one, Mike. But I don't think he wants to believe that, and that's why Tyrion's probably getting a little frustrated with John at this point too, because he's like, you fucking let Varys die, even though Tyrion really didn't stop that either because he ran his mouth to Varys and pretty much put his life in danger. I don't know, like it's convoluted as fuck. But anyway, he moves on from there and he lets Jaime go. Jaime runs off to the castle to get to Cersei before this battle starts so that he can warn her that that the castle's gonna fall. It's over. You're not gonna win. Because I did like that scene also with Jaime when we're talking to Tyrion. He's like, you know, maybe the walls will hold. We have the Lannister. He's like, I was there. Okay, the wall will fall. It's done. You're done, son. Can't be undone. And he was like, oh, well, okay, maybe you're telling the truth because you were there at that big battle. And he's like, the walls are gonna fall. So Jaime runs off, and then so now basically Tyrion has committed treason by doing what he's done.
And he's not even hidden because those shoulders are going to go right back
they're
to
going
him.
to tell.
Like, well, Tyrion told me to. So
well, that's not true at all. Like, are you sure it was me? I think you're wrong. It was dark.
He's not even trying to hide that shit, man. It's done. And that's, of course, when they go. When the battle begins. And he tries to tell him, he's like, hey, look, just okay. That's the last hope I have is like when they sound the bells, please stop it or whatever. And Danny agrees to it. She knew what the fucking sound of that bell goddamn meant.
Well, at least she killed. Well, we
what
thought
it truly meant was shame.
Yeah, well, at least she killed all those fucking boats with the dragon. She finally owns up and whoops those boats' ass, those wooden boats with a goddamn dragon that breathes fire. I was like, good for you.
She turned urine into fucking Peter Pan.
Yeah, and like all those Lannister army guys that were looking up, watching this shit happen, watching her destroy their navy, watching her just burn through the city, they're like, that bitch got a game genie.
Too bad
she's cheating.
It's too bad she didn't have some balls enough to do that on the open sea an episode ago, and she could have stopped a lot of this from even happening.
Well, I think the shock of losing a dragon to the scorpions.
Crimea River.
Fuck! I only got one left.
My pet snake's dead. How can I possibly expect to go to my mother's funeral?
Slippery snakes. But so yeah, the army attacks. They're all fucking everybody up. They breach the city walls, which is badass. The dragon like actually blows fire and bursts the walls down and lets the army go through. And it's all going great for the armies of Dany. And then the bells start ringing, and you can see it was cool though. You can see Tyrion walking through. It looks like the streets of Detroit downtown. It's all burnt ash and shit. I'm sorry if you live there, but I'm just saying. And he's looking around, and he's looking at the bell. Cersei is starting to like get fucking freaked out now because she's like, okay, this is bad. This is bad news. She's got like a game genie. She's cheating on like the hardest level. She's got a dragon over there.
And at first you were cheering for her. You're like, fuck yeah, dragon time. And imagine she had two or even three.
The bells start going off. Tyrion's happy. Finally, the city is surrendered. Do you even see the Lannister army throw their fucking weapons down?
Oh, that's what pissed me off.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, Dany's like, not today! And then she fucking recalls and goes after everybody.
There was a whole thing that happened there though that was pretty cool, and it was old Dickless Grey Worm Larry Johnson.
I fucking hate that guy.
Got pissed because they're standing there, and the dudes threw down their swords. The fucking bell started ringing. The war was won. It was all good and gravy and everything was going to be great. And then fuckface, when he saw Daenerys just start lighting shit on fire, and I mean, it's honestly, you could hate it if you're a fan of Dany. I love it because she's been pissing me off all season.
Yeah.
I think she's been leading down this road, and some people are complaining that the story arcs didn't like build up to what they were going to be. And I get that. I felt that more last season. I thought last season was way more wham, bam, gotcha, man. We're just going to throw away this storyline, that storyline, just to get to the point. This season, I've accepted it's the finales. It's going to be over. They have to end it somehow, and they're going to make the choices they go with. And someone said something that really resonated with me is that sometimes it's about the journey, not the destination. And when you have all those
Tony Stark
backlog of when you have that whole backlog of all these great episodes and seasons where they're building up and building up and building up, I think it's almost impossible not to feel disappointed. But I don't think they ever could have met everybody's expectations. And I actually thought this was a great episode.
Yeah.
But when Dany gets when that character arc hits fucking the full super fucking punch out meter, and she actually turns into full on bad guy, and she is, fuck her.
Yeah, she's a bad guy.
She's as bad as Cersei or anybody else, man. She
killed
burning innocent women and children,
and not to mention little dickless cuntface Grey Worm is like throwing spears at defenseless soldiers, and then all the Dothraki like smelling blood.
And Jon was just like, stop.
They run over and they're killing the kids, they're killing the women, they're raping, they're trying to rape women now. They're basically pillaging. And Jon's like, yeah, the fucking scene. And I hope that Jon does this. Like, Jon looked at Grey Worm, and Grey Worm, he's like, and then he keeps doing, he's like, wait till we get back to the house, homie. Wait till we get back to the house. Like, I'm going to fuck you up. Because I hope that Jon whoops his ass to the fucking death. And I hope he hits him so hard he grows a dick back for a second. Like, I really do. I hope Grey Worm dies an atrocious death. I understand that he's pissed off about Missandei, but that's not justification for killing, like, innocent fucking women, children, and men for no reason whatsoever.
And knew she was like she actually, like, you got to think about how deep this is, because she wanted those people to die. She was so fueled with rage and anger, whatever her reasons were. And they hinted at this forever when she saw her brother die.
Yeah.
And she was just cold and calculus to it. When they've hinted at her and how callous she can be for many seasons now. That arc has been building so slow, and you really got the payoff to me at the right time, because she literally didn't have to. Like, she didn't have to.
No.
Like, it would have been one thing. She would have had an argument if, okay, we got to do this to get to Cersei. Like, again, I thought she was a bitch then. because you got to figure out another way around it because you're the breaker of chains or whatever. But that was one thing. Knowing that you have Cersei where you want her and you can take all this without killing him, you're just killing people because you fucking want to. It's like that scene in that Call of Duty game where you had to like go undercover and shoot people in an airport.
Oh, that was the very beginning of Modern Warfare 2?
Yeah, basically Danny was like, fuck yeah! And she was like, you don't have to. You can just not pull your trigger. But Danny was out there just fucking lighting people up with grenades and shit and laughing and just rubbing fucking Butterfingers all over her face.
You were obsessed with Butterfingers today.
She just kept replaying that scene over and over and over again, and she's a sadistic, fucking awful, terrible, miserable queen now, and she has to be dealt with.
I felt like if she was kind of like, no. Light speed is too slow. Light speed too slow. We're going to have to go straight to ludicrous speed. Ludicrous speed. Sir, I don't know if the ship can take it. What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken! Like, it was like a Spaceballs moment because it's like it goes from 0 to 150,000 miles per hour and your face is flying back from the G-force and you're like, fuck it down! Like, here's the thing. Danny, there was a moment, like, I thought they would be like, oh, she's going to pull back. And she's going to realize that she's got the city. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. Her and fucking John are going to go rule that shit together, and it's going to be wonderful. But then I was like, wait a minute. This is Game of Thrones, okay? I'd like to take Game of Thrones fans. I like to choke them, and all day long, I put up a Game of Thrones fans. Bam, bam, bam. That's my pleasure. That's what I thought. Then I was like, that's what the creators felt like. And they were like, no, we're not. The trajectory is already set. Danny's a bad guy now. And I think I read a comment, and I can understand this. They made Cersei kind of a good guy or a sympathetic character at that moment and make Danny like the ultimate evil. However, I never really felt that bad about Cersei because I don't give a shit. That bitch has done some massively fucked up things in her entire... Yeah, but I never felt sympathy towards her. Like, she didn't care about those people that were burning. She is so sexy. But but she was like... What she was more concerned with was her own life. She was selfish enough to be concerned with her own life. Now, Danny does destroy King's Landing is a rubble of fuck. Like, there's nothing there. All the people you're gonna rule over nothing. Sometimes reality is often disappointing. It's like what Thanos says. And then, but Cersei does, her, what's that guy's name? Her little caretaker guy, the wizard of Oz.
I was just calling the wizard.
Her wizard says, we've got to get out of here. They're coming down the gates. Peter Frampton. And he's like, okay, you got to listen to me. We got to go. So the Mountain and her go down the steps. And this is where you get into one of the fucking cooler scenes of the entire season.
We'll get there, Evelyn.
What?
No.
Oh,
Jamie.
But, Jamie. But we'll get, for sure. But when that moment, when the Hound and the Mountain have a confrontation.
Hold on.
I'm going to talk about Arya. Because Arya was with the Hound, and Arya was bent on killing Cersei, but there was a nice little moment where the Hound is like, if you go down the route of revenge, you're going to end up like me. You want to look like me? I don't think so. You want to use Clearasil, but he's like, this is what's going to happen to you. Like, stop. And it was a touching moment. And then Arya's like, thanks Sandor. She even calls him Sandor, and I thought it was a cute scene, and it was good. But then,
well, hold on.
Where you go?
You're like going at 90 miles a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to the best part.
Back it up a little bit.
But where?
Back the truck up.
Where are you going?
Back it up.
No.
I'm talking about Danny right now. I still.
We've already what?
On Danny's. I'm not done, Steven. Not done.
There's nothing more to say. She's a bitch.
She is a bitch. But
she's a hot bitch.
Just like he mentioned earlier, how's that going to turn out when it comes to her? Okay, so like when you have what Danny did right there, and she's literally killing women and children for fucking fun, like it's goddamn dodgeball, right? And then all this shit's going on. John is sitting there and he's watching women get raped, and it takes him a good little while to fucking do anything about it. And then, granted, that was I think it was mostly the Targaryens, which not the Targaryens, but I think it was mostly the not the Lannisters, the fucking
Swords.
The dude that the fucking tattooed hook.
Dothraki?
the goddamn Aquaman.
Oh, Jason.
Yeah, the Dothraki.
Yeah.
Are running through and they're just like they're raping. They're doing all this shit. It's crazy. Like John was so weak in that moment. Like that bothered me a lot. He was just like, "Stop, guys, stop!" Like he didn't do anything. Like he had a chance and he tried to hold the line or whatever. But then people are coming at him and trying to kill him, and I understand that. But he let so much happen. He stopped one guy. He stopped one rape. He pulled the guy off. And then the whole time, Cersei's up on the mountaintop and she's watching all this happening. And it's just it's fucking weird, man, because she actually gave in. Like she gave in and she walked away. Like she gave up finally.
Because she was selfish. She only cares about herself. That she doesn't care about those people burning.
But how bad was that fucking scene when she was like, "No, the people will fight for a queen"? It's like, bitch, you are delusional.
Because either
you
way,
are beyond fucking.
And I will defend John in this moment because John, I think that John did lose control of his classroom. Stephanie would understand this. Like he's like, I don't know what to do. There's a lot of fucking things going on. People are throwing paper airplanes. I can't stop it. But he only saw one rape. They were like killing kids. He was fucking people up, and he did start killing Dothraki. But I mean, he only saw the one rape. So I mean, I'm not gonna like say he was just watching people get raped and butt fucked.
But he should have said the main thing he did was he should have said more when Dany was like, "We're gonna have to kill these innocent people. We're gonna have to do it. There's no way around it." That's the only thing I'll really take away from this episode. That I know everybody's bitching because the arcs and people are changing so fast and it feels false and people are upset. The one thing that actually does upset me, even though I like this episode and I like the season overall, is Jon never would have let that happen, I feel like, in the past 5 seasons. Yeah. He would have made a speech. He would have done something. He would have fought Dany tooth and nail to be like, you can't storm that fucking place and kill those children. I won't allow it. The Jon of season fucking, 4 wouldn't have allowed one of those kids to die. So the fact that he's going to be like, well, she's making me, guys. You know, I hate that. I hate what they're doing with Jon right now, and I hope that something happens in the last episode.
Jon also, his loyalty was a little bit weird in the earlier seasons. He didn't have anybody he was really loyal to. I mean, he was just a watch. He was a watch guy. He was on the tower. And like now it's like.
But he always did the right thing.
But he's loyal as fuck. And I guess he likes Dany. I don't know. But we'll see what happens in that. But now, going to Monday Night Raw event, the Hell in a Cell between the Hound and the Mountain. Finally, a shakedown of epic proportions. Dude, first off, he kills Qyburn, which I thank you. I don't remember who says. The wizard, his name's Qyburn. Oh, yeah. The Mountain's like, because Cersei's like, protect me, and the Qyburn's like, come on, let's go to the Mountain. The Mountain's like, it throws his ass, and like he dies on a split his melon. And I was like, shit, because the Hound's like, come at me, brother. And then like there was a moment like when Cersei like leaves them, and you have like the two facing off, the Mountain on top of the stairs, the Hound on the bottom of the stairs, and like you see a dragon in the background, like lightning flashing and shit. AC/DC Big Gun should have come on. Big God! It looked like a Meatloaf Hell out of Bat Out of Hell like album cover, like the way that they were just sitting there with the fucking dark sky and a dragon. Dude, I was like, this is gonna fucking be great. And it does. It was a great fucking fight.
It's funny as fuck. Someone said, or Evelyn said, Jon should have betted Dany that nobody would have died. Like I was like, all you got to do is fuck your aunt, man. Just fuck your aunt, and then she'll be happy and she'll be in a good mood, and then nobody has to fucking die. None of this has to happen, but he just can't do it.
But the Mountain, the Hound showdown.
That's what I was gonna say. That one scene that was it was probably to me the best shot of the entire Game of Thrones, of all the cool shit that they've done. Say what you want to about the season, but when they face off and like at the same time that they're running at each other, the dragon flies overhead and knocks the fucking.
It looked good. It looked
Megadeth 9000.
It was album cover. It was the album cover of Bat Out of Hell. It's like a dragon. I mean, it was amazing. Meatloaf, fuck yeah. And then it was kind of like Kane versus Undertaker. It was like brothers against brother, darkness against darkness. Who's gonna come out on top? I don't know. Let's find out on SmackDown tonight. And then they have like their big moment of fight. Now the fight didn't go on as long as I wanted it to. I thought it was gonna be more like focused on those two, like having a rumble, but they had a pretty good fight. Like it was a pretty decent fight. And then when the Mountain is like stabbed repeatedly and fucked up, and then he pulls the shit out and it comes after the Hound, and the Hound starts laughing because the Hound's like, it's my big brother. I can't beat him. He always beats me at fucking Mario Kart all the time. And then he picks him up and starts throwing, like pushing his fucking fingers through his eyeballs.
I was thinking Michael Myers when that happened.
Yeah, he did it to the snake guy. I don't know what season it was, and I thought he was gonna crack his fucking head open, like split it open. I'm like, oh shit, that's gonna be an unceremonious end to the Hound. But luckily, it doesn't happen, and the Hound's like the Hound fights all the way to the end. And I thought it was pretty epic that he grabs the Mountain and goes out into the fire with his brother. Because remember, the Hound was always scared of fire and shit. That he like literally takes his brother with him to hell and back.
Yeah,
well, not back this time. But.
And that was a great scene too between him and Arya, because basically she realized, and I think she was actually going back to Blacksmith McGee. not Oberyn, but
No, I know, but that's
Gwendolyn, whatever that guy's name is. You guys know what I'm talking about. The sexy blacksmith that she banged a little while back. I think when he was like, "Do you want to end up like me?" She was finally like, "Thank you, let me go." That was a good scene or whatever. But yeah, that fight. I thought both fight scenes, like the one-on-one fight scenes, we've been waiting for so long, and we'll get to that in just a second. The Jaime fight scene with Euron, and the Clegane Bowl, again, just that one shot was enough for me. That fucking dragon flying over and then facing off was great. The fight was okay. It was a good fight. It was no Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee.
But what is?
I felt like it could have been a little bit better. I mean, and I get what people are saying. In a perfect world, a whole episode would have been built. Like, think about all the episodes of Game of Thrones where nothing fucking happened, where people just fucking talked. Imagine if you had at least one fucking episode where it was just about Clegane Bowl. The whole goddamn thing about was Clegane Bowl. The first half an hour was a fucking build-up, and the last 45 minutes was a fucking knockdown, drag-out, crazy fucking fight with dragons and shit going on all around. I get that. I get that. At the same time, we get what we want. It was an amazing scene. It wasn't dark. There's no complaints. It was great. Fight could have been a little bit better.
Yeah, it could have been longer. But either way, it's done now.
The undercard was, of course, Jaime and Euron.
Talking about a shit fight. That to me was the shittier fight of those two at all. There was a reason why it's the undercard fight, because I don't. First off, why are you going to let the fucking lead singer from Three Doors Down kill Jaime? He looks like literally the Three Doors Down. Like Kryptonite could have come on. I was like, perfect. You look just like him. He kills Jaime, basically. He stabs him multiple fucking times. Jaime and him have a decent little fight. But it's like, fucking a guy literally named Euron is going to take down Jaime Lannister.
I wanted Jaime to fuck him up.
Yeah, and it never happened. They were just evenly killed.
But again, I guess maybe they would have blamed him for fan service or whatever. Like, this is Game of Thrones, shit's real and raw, and not always the good guy wins. I get that. But did anyone here, can you honestly tell me that you did not want to see Jaime fucking ruin that little piece?
I did, I also didn't think it was going to be that guy that would do in Jaime. He just doesn't God, that's the guy that sits up in his room and jacks off to anime all day long.
He smells his own farts.
And he smells his farts in a fucking bubble hat mask or something. And then he comes down like, I'm the greatest guy.
And not just that, but he told Jaime straight up, he's like, fuck the queen.
Yeah.
It would have been it's just me, all right? But I would have rather seen that scene where he's like, fuck the queen, and then the camera pans to Jaime and he looks like Rocky in Rocky 4 when Adrian told him he can't win. He's like, doom. And his face pans to the camera. Then all of a sudden, Jaime just fucks his shit up. Maybe the first half of the fight, Euron fucks him up because he's got one hand and all this shit like that. And he's laughing at him and he's spitting on him and whatever. And then he says that one comment, he's like, and I fucked your wife. And then all of a sudden, Jaime's like, he gets up and just fucking ruins him. That would have been so much better and so much of what I wanted. And actually, you can't blame, you can't say that would be too fan service. Look at what happened to fucking Ramsay. He got exactly what he deserved.
Yeah, he did.
With the hounds tearing him apart. That was perfect. And the final season, actually, as much as I love this episode, the more and more I'm talking about it, I actually get kind of pissed off because I really wanted, that could have been such a better scene.
Yeah.
And it could have been a better fight.
I think that's my point. And I think, I don't know if you were talking about that scene, but the scene felt in a way kind of pointless. He just shows up off the fucking shore.
I want to kill a king.
After his fucking boat got destroyed, then he walks out like a goddamn mermaid. It's like, what's up, Kingslayer? Did you want to fight today? It's like, where did you come from?
I do feel like,
how did you find me right here, right now, at this very exact moment, and your ship got blown up, and you could have gone anywhere else, and you happen to be right here, and you're walking through the two rock fucking things like you're coming down the ramp at a wrestling event. What happened? Did you just I have a spider sense of where I was going to be, and he's like, I'm going to kill. If you kill another king, what happens? Dude, stop it. It's not good. And then, first off, it's your wife. He says, I fucked your wife, but truthfully, it's your sister. I fucked your sister. Okay. Well,
I fucked Brienne, so.
He should have been like,
taller.
He should be like, you got chlamydia. Congratulations. Because I gave that to that bitch last time. But yeah, I don't know. I really expected Jaime to go down in a different way than that. I don't know. Not to Euron, to anybody else but Euron. I don't know. I wanted to have maybe an epic battle. I thought he was going to portray Cersei. I really did. I thought that he was going to get to Cersei and be like, let's fucking go Romeo and Juliet here and die together. And I'm going to stab you in the fucking face and I'll stab myself.
I think deep down in our heart of hearts, part of the thing that we've always thought when we talked about this episode and this ending and what's going to happen, I think one of the things at the forefront of everybody's mind has been, who's going to fucking give Cersei what she deserves? Who's going to be the one? Because everybody wants to really fucking give Cersei exactly what she deserves. And We'll talk about that in a second, but it wasn't what you would have thought it would have been. They went a complete different fucking route. But the scene of Euron dying when he's laying there and he's like, I'm the one who killed Jaime Lannister.
No one's gonna know.
4 seasons ago, Game of Thrones would have had him whip his dick out and jack it while he was saying that. And it just, they don't do that. They've not done that for 2 seasons. They've not gone fucking wacko fucking banana socks in like 2 fucking seasons. And I think that's the kind of thing that some people are disappointed about. And god damn it, I love this episode. I have a fucking blast watching it, but the more and more I talk about it, the more and more I find things I don't like about it. It's actually really fucking weird.
Like it's like I love the episode, but at the same time I can understand the hate that it's getting in some realms at the same time. Like I don't know, it's like I enjoy this episode, but then I will keep it secret. And if someone says I fucking hate it, I'm like I do too. Like I'll keep it secret, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was epic. I thought it was really cool on how the King's Landing battle played out, and like I think the reason why that a lot of people are getting mad, and I can understand, is that it created more questions than fucking answers. I mean, they're talking about character arcs and the way that they're going now and what's happened. It's like you only got one more episode to really finalize and solidify these arcs. Like, is that going to be enough? Or do we need more episodes to really explore this now? Because now Dany is basically a bad guy. Jon is a pussy. I don't know what he is. Like, he's just like, I don't know what to do. Like, she's out of control. Maybe I'll get some help. Tyrion is like lost in the napalm desert. Like, he's like, fuck, I hate this bitch now, but I'm Tyrion. I don't know what I'm going to do. Arya's pissed as fuck, and you can tell that shit.
I wanted one shot when Arya's trying to save people in the streets or whatever. And I want to save everybody from thinking this, because I thought this too. When I was watching Arya just go through fucking hell trying to get out of King's Landing, originally I thought, okay, she's going to look up at the sky, she's going to see that dragon flying over, and she's going to get Bruce Wayne's face in Man of Steel, or in Batman vs. Superman, and that song's going to come on. She's like, dun, 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 dun. I thought we were going to fucking get that. But this is not a prerequisite to Arya deciding she's going to be the one to kill Daenerys. If you listen to the writers talk after the show, he was like, the reason we did that is because if we would have just shown women and children getting burnt up, we don't feel like it would have had the heaviness that we needed to have. By taking Arya, a character that people love, and putting her in the streets and putting her in peril, we felt like it would add more weight to it. So they're not trying to create this revenge plot for the last episode where Arya is going to kill Daenerys. I think Arya had her shining moment with the Night King.
But I mean,
for sure,
but it's still possible. But
it's possible, of course. But I think they put her there to scare the audience. Is she going to die? What's going to happen here? But that leaves us with one big thing to talk about, and that's Cersei. For sure. And
I mean,
just disappointing.
Yeah, it's it's a crack hoe at the end of her rope. She's not gonna get any more fixes, and it's done. It's over. And honestly, like when Jaime comes to rescue her, and they wind up going under the Dragon's Keep to get out on the boat, and it's collapsed in the exit. And she's like, I don't want to die. I was like, well, maybe you should have fucking thought about that when Tyrion told you to stop earlier on in the episode. I don't give a fuck about your, and Jaime should have just, I don't know, yeah. I just didn't give a shit. Like, I didn't care. And the thing is,
I don't know what they were looking for.
Like,
I don't know.
Like, yeah, well, somebody said they die together, but I don't give a fuck.
I didn't have sense. Like, I love Jaime. Like,
Jaime is the only one.
Jaime's character arc has been so crazy that I love him, and I get that Game of Thrones doesn't want it to be predictable. Like, if he died in a shining moment or whatever, I feel like people would have been let down by that. I feel like people would have been like, that's too obvious. We get it. The story arc started, 2 seasons ago. Do something interesting with it. But for them to, and you had an interesting idea about this, you don't think they're dead, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, because you don't see their bodies,
But when the rubble comes on top of them and they're holding each other, and really he's just like, fuck Brienne. He was like, that was a bad lay, and it made me realize how much I love you, you fucked up bitch. And that's basically what it was. He was like, yeah, she would never let me put it in your butt. You did, because you're a nasty
and
bitch.
It felt good.
And we're brother and sister. Maybe they were going further, like that we came into this world together as twins and we'll go out together. But it had no emotional resonance when fucking asshole number 1 and apparent asshole number 2 are holding each other and the rubble drops on top of them. It's like, man, fuck, we watched her fuck with people for goddamn how long? Like, someone should have had their goddamn revenge on her. It should have been something else. But you actually had an interesting idea about that.
Well, yeah, all I was saying was like I think that maybe because you don't see the bodies, and I'm not saying that this happened, but maybe the rubble when it collapses, it actually moves away the rubble in front of the exit, and they're able to get through. Maybe there's a small opening that shifted during the collapse, and they're able to get through, squeeze through, and get onto the boat. And then Jamie dies in transit, getting Cersei to wherever that city was that Tyrion told him to go to. Now, I know that might piss off a lot of fans because Cersei would still be alive and they would have another baby. But here's the thing. That also makes sense financially for Game of Thrones because if she has a baby that's a Lannister, that's a part of Jamie and Cersei, and then Cersei raises this kid, then it could also one day threaten the throne.
Oh, even if she gets away, maybe you're right, and they're still alive and they get out. But I think if they do, I think that's only a vehicle for the payoff we all wanted, which is to watch Arya or someone who's been wronged by Cersei get their revenge on her. You know, maybe Jamie dies saving her, and then he dies the way he wants to die. But then Cersei, thinking she's free in the last second, seeing the sunlight and going, "I made it!" Like she's like the dude in Goldeneye who's like, "I'm invincible." But then all of a sudden, fucking Jon Snow comes around the corner and cuts her fucking head off. Yep. That would be dope.
And look, I mean, Susanna is saying there's no way. It's possible. Like it's possible they didn't live at all. But I mean, again, you're talking about two characters that are like have been there since season 1, and they've grown and they've done their own thing and they've gone through their different shits together and apart. It's unceremonious to end him that way with just a fucking collapsed building on top of him. I don't think it's going to go out that way. I just don't. I think that it's going to be a little bit more left to say on Jamie and Cersei because they're so integral to the series. It's possible, but again, I mean, if they decide to go out that way, then whatever. Like it's a shitty death. It's a shitty death for two very like intricate characters that have been a part of this series for so long. I don't think they're going to do that. But either way, so that's done. I mean, Jamie and Cersei, I guess, are fucking on the bench for a while or forever. And then you go on what's going to be the next episode really is just Jon confronting Danny that is the episode I can't wait for. He's like, "You got something splendid to do." Okay. He's like, "Me and you could have been a good couple. We got a lot of things in common, but you just one crazy ass bitch," and then fucks her up. Like, I think that's going to happen. I think there's going to be a moment where he's going to take on Grey Worm, kill him, and then it's going to be Cersei versus Jon. And I don't know how that's going to play out because Danny versus Jon, but Danny's not a warrior. She's not like a hand-to-hand combatant.
Look, I think what we're going to get with this last episode is I think you're going to find out that a lot of people are going to live, and we thought no one was going to fucking live. Game of Thrones has been so fucking just mean. You would have thought barely any of your favorite characters are going to survive, but with one episode to go and all these people left standing, for them to kill off as many people as you thought they were going to kill off, it's going to have to be a goddamn bloodbath.
Yeah,
I think we're going to have to be dying left and right, and I just don't think that's going to happen the way that this season feels, but gosh, what's that? Like, okay, like you might not like what they did. And I would have done different things with different characters. But imagine where we are right now. We've got one episode. We got an hour and a half left. And how much shit still has to be dealt with.
I hope it's 3 hours.
How pumped are you, at least for this last fucking episode, man? Shit's going to get crazy. We're talking about maybe Jon versus Danny. Or maybe Jon sides with Danny. They're both fucking, like, who the fuck knows? If Game of Thrones wants to keep that street cred, they'll do something mean like that and fuck with us all. Just remember, these are the people who killed fucking Sean Bean. Who looked like he was going to be the greatest character of the entire fucking show.
Yeah.
You know, these are the people who killed him off in the first season. Their main star of the show. They might throw a 180 and fuck with all of us and have us sitting there just gaping mouths, just throwing popcorn on our fucking faces.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll launch a nuke and everybody dies. I did see a comment that somebody said Sansa on the Iron Throne. That could be a very big possibility. Like, I mean, at this point, yeah, I mean, she's the only one left with any kind of like history of ruling, or not ruling, but like has the proper lineage and the experience to sit on the Iron Throne where people would be like, respect, she's been through some shit. Because it's either going to be her or Tyrion, and I really want Tyrion to sit on the throne, but Tyrion's not going to do it. I think that Tyrion goes down with Jon. I think that Jon and Tyrion go and take on Grey Worm and Danny, and they both go down together fighting. I don't think Tyrion makes it out.
Stephanie said that the last episode's only 82 minutes.
Well, fuck.
It's an hour and 12 minutes.
Fuck! They better wrap up some shit quick.
What the fuck you gonna do? 82 goddamn minutes.
Somebody pay their goddamn bills. What you talking about? Only 18 minutes.
I ain't gonna buy all them raviolis.
Dude, I swear to God, what if they do Game of Thrones and they do Game of Thrones end of the season, and then it's like next year, final part. It's like son of a bitch.
We'll all watch though, won't we? So yeah,
fuck.
I don't know. I don't know what else. That's fucking.
I mean, that's it. There was a lot of stuff in it.
22 minutes.
There was a lot of stuff in it.
I'm fucking stupid.
I'm done too because I went along with what you said. I would never cheat on this motherfucker in math, but I would, and we would both get Fs. But
that's why we're here.
I know. So yeah, look, there was a lot of stuff crammed in here. A lot of stuff that was really good. A lot of stuff that I enjoyed, but I can understand why some people didn't like it overall. I still thought the episode was really, really good. I had a great time watching it. It was better than some of those other fucking episodes that happened in the season. We're just talking and there's nothing going on. And that's the way it's always going to be with big giant shows like this. It's always going to be disappointing to a lot of people, and it's always going to be pleasing to other people, and people are going to be indifferent to it because you're never going to make sure that everybody gets exactly what they want. Even in-game has detractors. Crazy, I know, right? Like, how much bath salts did they snort?
Oh yeah, Bernie. I think John vs. Grey Worm, like you said, I think that's going to be a quick.
Yeah,
fuck you. Fucking, you got what you deserve because you turned into a little bitch, little dickless bitch.
Bitch.
I got no dick.
But that is what it is. Either way, I've had a great time watching Game of Thrones. I think it's one of the best series I've ever seen on TV. And now we're wrapping it up, guys. Like next episode, we're done. Game of Thrones is done. Got everything. Got done.
It feels weird.
And it's over.
Weird.
It's over. But yeah, I had a great time. I like the episode.
So final question.
What?
Do you have to pee?
Yes,
I
have to pee like hardcore.
I know you guys got.
We're gonna play swords.
We'll be back in 1 hour and 7 minutes with a live recap of, or not live recap, we're live commentary of Curse of Chucky.
Yeah,
2 more to go.
Thank God for that. I feel like I'm in Game of Thrones for that shit.
So yeah, well, we'll be back to hang out with you guys for a couple more hours at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern here in about an hour. But
thank you guys for joining. You guys are awesome, amazing. And I love that you guys are here because if we fuck up and we're stupid and we forget names and stuff, you guys are right there to help us out. We love you guys. You guys are like the stage mothers that we need. Like, the name is this, stupid fuck.
I want you guys all to come, like when we get to a level where we can do Joe Bob type shit, and you guys should just be the people in the background who laugh at our shitty jokes. Not to say Joe Bob's jokes aren't shitty. But I love it. Like you can hear the crew laughing and shit. Like that's what we want for us. So
woo, Sam Hain.
Fucking faces, and we'll be back next week with the last episode of Game of Thrones. Sit on that face.
No.
We love your fucking faces. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button and get some goddamn wham up in you. April forgot to say hi to you. Forgot to say hi to Vanessa, Ashley, Gary, Dan, everybody, Chief. That person who was talking shit earlier. Fuck you too.
Who?
We love you guys.
Who was it?
Have a good.
Who was it?
Goddamn case of the Mondays.